Hey guys, it's Miss Fiella. I just want to go over today's lesson with you. Today's 4-9. So when you open up your attachment for today, for your assignment, here's your FSA countdown page. And then your worksheet page for the lesson for today. So today's lesson is on quadrilaterals. Okay. I want to go over a couple questions with you from your FSA page first. So number one, it says, which angle is acute? Remember, we already did that. So acute would be less than 90 degrees, which means smaller than a right angle. So a right angle makes that L shape, so smaller than that L shape. This one, a shape is shown. Mark all the obtuse angles. Remember, an obtuse angle is a big angle, so it's going to open bigger than that L. Okay, so any of these that open bigger than the L shape. For example, this one right here, this angle down here, that's bigger than if I was to draw an L there. That's opening bigger, so that's an obtuse angle, okay? And you have to mark all of the obtuse angles. You can just circle the obtuse angles. If you want to, or put an X where the obtuse angles are, that's fine. 3, you have to draw an example of what Canoe should draw. He's been learning about geometry. For an exit slip, his teacher asked him to draw a line segment. So remember, think about our previous lesson. What is a line segment? Okay. 4, which one of these has line symmetry? So remember, line symmetry means that if you draw a line down the middle of the shape or across or diagonal, is it going to fold over and match up equally? So if you put a line, are both sides the exact same? That would have a line of symmetry. So you have to select all, which means there's going to be more than one. Okay, 5, how many lines of symmetry does this figure have? So again, draw this on a separate sheet of paper and go ahead and put a line where you think you could fold the figure in half and it's going to be the same on both sides. Okay, so how many lines of symmetry does it have? And a figure can have more than one. It could have 4 lines of symmetry, 5 lines of symmetry, okay? If you have any other questions about that, please message me on Edmodo. Okay, today's lesson is on quadrilaterals, which on your worksheet here, if you look, it gives you a lot of information already. So a lot of this is what we're going to talk about in the lesson, but then it's also written here for you. So here are quadrilaterals, and here are some properties of the quadrilaterals. Okay, so I'm going to turn mine around to show you my board for a second. Okay, so the first thing though I want to go over with you real quick is what is a quadrilateral. Okay, so a quadrilateral, I'm going to erase this really quickly. Okay, a quadrilateral is any shape that has 4 sides and 4 angles, okay? Any shape that has 4 sides and 4 angles. So yes, an example most of you are going to think of is a rectangle or a square. 1, 2, 3, 4 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4 angles. But you could make a shape like this. Okay, 4 sides, 4 angles, okay? Any shape that has 4 sides and 4 angles. It doesn't have to be a shape with a name, okay, with another name. Okay, some examples of some quadrilaterals are, and I'm going to show you actually on this worksheet that I found. So I'm going to turn you back around. Here are your examples of your different quadrilaterals. So one example is a trapezoid. Okay, so this is what a trapezoid looks like. And by definition, a trapezoid has only one pair of parallel sides. It's really important to remember that because that's the example you see a lot of. Okay? Another example of a quadrilateral is a parallelogram. Now, a parallelogram can look like this, but it doesn't always have to because by definition, a parallelogram has 2 pairs of parallel sides and 2 pairs of sides that are equal length. So this side is equal to this side, and this side length is equal to this side length. Okay. A rhombus has two pairs of parallel sides. So this side will never touch this side. That's one pair. And this side will never touch this side. That's two pairs. So it has two pairs of parallel sides. And it also has four equal sides. All the sides are equal. A rectangle has two pairs of parallel sides. So this side will never touch this side. And this side will never touch this side. It has two pairs of sides that are of equal length. So this side is equal to this side. And this side is equal to this side. And it also has four right angles. All of these make square corners, so those are all right angles. And if you should know, if it makes a square corner, that means that those lines there are perpendicular. So a rectangle has parallel lines, but it also has perpendicular lines. A square has two pairs of parallel sides. This side will never touch this side. This side will never touch this side. It has four equal side lengths. All sides are equal. And it has four right angles. Okay. Now the thing about quadrilaterals is we can give them other names. For example, if you're talking about a square, what is another name we can give a square? Well, a square has two pairs of parallel sides, which by definition is a parallelogram. So I'm going to turn you around and I'm going to write these out for you. So a square, we can call a square. We can also call a square a parallelogram because it has two pairs of parallel sides. What else can we call a square? Well, we can call a square a quadrilateral because it has four sides. What else can we call a square? Well, we can call a square a rectangle as well, because a rectangle by definition has two pairs of parallel sides and it has two sides that are of equal length and it has four right angles. Okay. We could also call a square a rhombus, because a rhombus has four equal sides, just like a square, and it has two pairs of parallel sides. Okay, so I can call a square 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different names. These are all the names for a square. So if you're asked a question like, if you're given an example like this, and it says, name this quadrilateral, or name this shape. And if it says, give all the names for this shape, if you just write square, that's not correct because that's not all the names for this shape. This is all the names for this shape, okay? So now let's take a look at a rectangle. What are all the names I could give a rectangle? Well, I could call a rectangle a quadrilateral because it has four sides. And I could also call a rectangle a parallelogram because a rectangle, I'm going to draw this for you, has two pairs. This side is parallel to this side, and this side is parallel to this side. Okay, so that's two pairs of parallel sides. That is a parallelogram. It is a quadrilateral because it has four sides. You could not name a rectangle a rhombus because a rhombus has four equal sides. A rectangle does not have four equal sides, so you cannot name a rectangle a rhombus. And that's why you can also not name a rectangle a square, because a square has four sides that are equal as well, and a rectangle does not have four equal sides. Okay, so these are all the names for your rectangle. What are the names you could give a rhombus? Well, I could call a rhombus a quadrilateral because it has four sides. I could also call a rhombus a parallelogram because, I'm going to draw you a picture. A rhombus looks something like this. Okay? Two pairs of parallel sides makes it a parallelogram. It also has four equal sides. Now, a lot of people want to call a rhombus also a square. But why can you not call a rhombus a square? Because a square has 4 right angles. A rhombus does not have 4 right angles. A rhombus doesn't have any right angles. So I cannot name a rhombus a square. Okay? Let's see. What are some names I could give a trapezoid? So we have a trapezoid. And now a trapezoid is also a quadrilateral. It has 4 sides. And it has 4 angles. So that's a quadrilateral. Now, some of you want to say a trapezoid, and this is a picture of a trapezoid, also is called a parallelogram. But a parallelogram has 2 pairs of parallel sides, and a trapezoid only has 1 pair of parallel sides. So you cannot call a trapezoid a parallelogram. You cannot. These are the only names for a trapezoid. Okay? Now, I also want you to know there is a different trapezoid. There is something called a right trapezoid. And a right trapezoid looks like this. And a right trapezoid has 1 pair of parallel sides. So this side here is parallel to this side here. They will never touch. But this side and this side, they eventually are going to touch. If these lines keep going, they're eventually going to touch each other. So only 1 pair of parallel sides. Now in a right trapezoid though, we also have 2 right angles. So if you're asked a question about a quadrilateral that has 1 pair of parallel sides and a right angle, you can say a right trapezoid. If you said trapezoid, that would be incorrect because remember, a regular trapezoid looks like this. It does not have a right angle. Okay? Okay. There's another shape that is on your worksheet that you have to do, and it is a kite. So a kite kind of looks like this. Okay? Now a kite, I want to explain what the terminology means, says that there are 2 pairs of adjacent sides that are equal. Okay? So that means this side here, this side length here is equal to this side length here. And then this side length here is equal to this side length here. And I want you to know that these lines through the sides mean that those sides are equal. So for example, if I have a square, I can put 1 little line through each one of these sides because these are all the same. They're all equal. But now if a rectangle, I'm going to put 1 line through here and 1 line through here. That means that these 2 sides are equal. But now I'm going to put 2 little lines through here and 2 little lines through here because now these 2 sides are equal to each other. Okay? If I only put 1 line through those sides, that would mean all these sides are equal and they're not in a rectangle. So I'm going to put those 2 lines there. Okay? That's what those lines mean on your shapes, and you're going to see that on your worksheet as well. Okay? Those are all of our quadrilaterals. Those are all the definitions of them and what they mean. And then I also gave you all the names for all of the quadrilaterals, okay? So if you need to replay this video and you can write them down, okay? Pause the video so you can write down the definitions from what I showed you on the worksheet and what I put on my board here, okay? And that will definitely help you. If you have any other questions, please let me know. You can private message me on Edmodo. When you're done with your worksheets, you can do your 1 Imagine Math lesson on your FSA Week 3 pathway. Don't work in another pathway, your Week 3 pathway. And now by today, at the end of today, you should have all of your lessons complete by 3 o'clock. So all 4 lessons should be finished by 3 o'clock today, okay? So don't wait until the last minute. You shouldn't be waiting till today to do all of your lessons. If you were doing 1 a day, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, you should only have 1 to do today, and you should be able to get that done by 3 o'clock, okay? So let me know if you have any other questions. Thanks. Bye.